Boys, that was exactly what I wanted from this side to turn it around after the Monaco match. That game was a lot to deal with, and like I was distraught after that match. I think it was a little over dramatic, but I think a lot of us were because it brought up a lot of PTSD from last season, and then seeing Bayern win all these games by so much also scared a lot of us as well. And leading into this match with Ter Stegen playing well, again, it shocked us a little bit. We needed a big turnaround in this game. We needed a win. We needed a statement, really, to convince us that this team is still great. And I know it's like dramatic of us, but they gave it to us today. It wasn't a perfect game. We had to fight for it. It was really a fight to the end where it could have gone either way. I know it doesn't look like that on paper, but that's really how it went. And I am really impressed by a lot of these guys' performances today. I think there was only a few that weren't great. I think the vast majority of them really showed up for us. And you know, we'll get into the player ratings. But at the beginning, the first half was less interesting than the second. I think we were worse in the first half. It was a little concerning. There was a lot of exposure at the back for us, especially. Villarreal is a good team. Just looking at them on paper, for those of you guys that may not pay a ton of attention to La Liga or know all the clubs, Villarreal has been one of the better teams in La Liga this season, if not the second best to Barcelona. So it was going to be a testy match. They press well. They fight hard. They haven't lost a single game in La Liga. 3 wins, 2 draws. And one of those draws coming against Atleti. So they're a good side. And to come out with this much of a victory shows me that we can do a lot. And we'll get into more of how the game went on a little bit. And specifically, I think the big thing to focus on really overall is that at the back, we were really exposed a lot. Thankfully, our offside trap worked. I think there were at least 3 offsides goals. It could have gone differently if they were. And it was like, it was close every time. There was also the goal that was ended up getting scored was also very close. But it shows me that this team not only can play against teams that are good at exposing back lines, they can also fight back and come from behind when they're not playing perfectly, right? We were getting exposed at the back a lot and still went into at halftime, 2 goals up or whatever, 2-1. We had a lead after to stay. I think he had a great game or a pretty good game leading up to it. He made some really good saves on some 1v1s as well. He did his job pretty well. And then something happened shockingly with his leg. I know he went to the hospital. I don't know exactly what happened. I think you guys will know a little bit better than I do when you see this video. So if any of you know or have some update on it, this could have easily been like 4-4 or like 7-4. This game was insane. There were so many chances for both sides. Thank God so many of them were offside for Villarreal. But overall, the main thing to focus on is that they did a pretty good job playing and fighting back when they weren't playing that well and creating chances when the team didn't look good. They didn't have control in the midfield. Their front 3 didn't work the best together all the time. And their back line was very much so a mess a lot with 2 youngsters, Gerard Martin and Sergio Dominguez. I think this was Sergio Dominguez's either first or second start for Barcelona. Gerard Martin has had a little bit more minutes, but neither one of them are very experienced, with Koundé and Inigo Martinez pairing them up. It was not the best back line, especially with Marc-Andre Ter Stegen going out. Again, I don't know what happened exactly. It looks bad, but also I watched the highlights. I'm not sure. I cannot even guess what happened. Hopefully he's all right. I don't want to see any criticism about him in the comments. He looks hurt. We'll move forward to the player ratings. I think I'm going to skip Ter Stegen. Iñaki Peña was fine. I think he did his job. He came out at a few times, didn't look the most confident, but again, didn't concede. 7.5. I think he did fine. He booted the ball up instead of trying to play it around at times. It was, if you're going to have to do it, you're going to have to do it. It's okay. And then moving to the back line, Koundé, I think he had a pretty good game. Again, there are problems with his game, especially going forward. That's my biggest issue with him. We can manage around that. That's okay because he is good defensively. There's a lot of right back, center backs in world football right now. That's kind of the meta now. He did put in like 1 or 2 really good crosses though today, which is better, more than I've seen. He also took 1 really good strike. I think an 8 is probably a little generous, but I think I'm going to go with it just because I think he had a pretty solid game. Was probably the most solid at the back of all the starters. Sergio Dominguez, I don't think he was great. I wasn't impressed by him. I think him and Inigo were taken out of the game pretty quickly. I think the left side was worse, but I don't think Dominguez impressed me today. I think a 6 at best. Inigo Martinez, I'll give him a 6.5. I'm going to give him a 6 as well. Again, I don't think there is much great to talk on things changed when subs were made, when Dominguez came off, and I think Martinez was a little bit more solid. So I'll give him a 6.5 for that. And Gerard Martin, he improved a lot when the subs came on. I thought he was really bad in the first half. I don't think he's not great going forward. He's not great on the ball, and he was just out of position. Nicolas Pepe looked better today than he ever has in his entire career because he was breaking in behind every second, beating all of these guys with pace, which isn't surprising looking at them. And it was working. Martin being so far up the pitch or out of position or not being able to track back as quickly as Balde maybe was being exploited a lot. Subs came on and it was able to solve that problem. That, again, didn't happen though until the 60th minute. But Martin improved. I'm going to give him just a 7. I'll give him a 6.5. Again, I think he was too bad in the first half to really give him more than that. And Eric Garcia is really the last guy who I don't think was very great. You know, I think he was fine. Again, I think he improved in the second half. His positioning as a CDM is still not great. His ability on the ball is still not great. Decision making still not great. I'm going to give him a 6. I'm not his biggest fan. I think he made a decent amount of interventions too. There was one block with his face that was good. I'll give him a 6.5 for the blocks. Again, moving forward, the guys got a lot better. Pedri was better today. I don't think it was his best game. I think he was overrun in the middle. Didn't have a ton of support from Pablo Torre and Garcia, so he had a lot to do. Again, without Kubarsi in the back too, there wasn't a ton of ball circulation ability back there. And a lot of it had to come from the wings or passing up, getting a through ball to Lamine or Pablo Torre. And so he didn't look his best. I'm just going to give him a 7. I could have missed something. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. I think he does have an assist on the day. But I think a 7 is fair. Pablo Torre, though, I'm going to give him a 7.5. He did score a really good goal. And I'm going to give him an 8 because he scored a goal and got an assist. But I think he warmed up into the game. I don't think he was great in the beginning, and he didn't help keep control of the middle very well, at least compared to the guys who came in for them. So I think an 8 is generous, but I'm going to give it to him. But moving forward, these guys were really good today, man, especially in the second half, but really consistent and strong despite not having a ton of support and having to break down a very strong box setup of Villarreal. They did a pretty good job of controlling them, of defending, of getting back and making it hard for Lamine and Lewandowski and Rafinha to create. Lamine got really hot into the game as the game went on. Wasn't incredible in the first half. Did a pretty good job of creating some chances. That outside the boot shot was one of the greatest passes I've seen in a very long time. I lost my mind on stream. Yeah, he was great. I think he easily deserves an 8.5 for that assist. And then he was just like the lightning of this team in the second half. We're in like the last 30 minutes. So many chances created. So exciting. Really good player. He got kicked a lot, though, so hopefully he sits out against Getafe because they'll beat the crap out of him. He got kicked a lot by ex-Barca boys, too, so I don't know what's going on here. But Lewandowski surprised me today. I think his link-up play was solid. Not great, but solid enough to get it through. And the bicycle kick goal, interesting. I don't know if you can call that a bike, but he fought for shots today. He fought for goals. He scored. I think the first goal was really good. Very well worked between Pablo Torre, Pedri, and Lewandowski. And Lewandowski easily deserves an 8, maybe an 8.5. Fought well, linked up well, was really good. Obviously missed the pen too. Whatever, Lamine did win the pen. That's another plus for him. Good game, man. Good game by these guys. Rafinha, 8.5 as well. I'm going to give him the same as Lamine, but I'll probably give the man of the match to Lamine. Rafinha ran. He pressed well. I think he got an assist today. No, he scored, obviously, the brace. Just good football, man. I think I really liked at the end of the game too how he was defending Lamine, talking to the ref, like fighting for his teammates. I love it. I love to see it. I love that support, especially when our captains are staying. And it's not only out, but in goal most of the time. We don't really have a lot of guys who are able to do that. Kubarsi, I thought was dominant, man. He came in and was great on the ball. Was supportive when he went to left back when Koundé came into center back, or left center back when Koundé came in to center back when Hector Fort came in. Kubarsi was great. His ball, not only his ball movement, but his ball carrying into space, it was top tier. Great player. I'm going to give him a 7.5. I'm going to give him an 8. I don't think he put a foot wrong. Did what he needed to do. Did well. Marc Casado was brilliant. His ability and intelligence on the ball, his incisive passes. There was a couple chances that he gave. I don't know if it was Rafinha. It was Lamine. Lamine was gassed at the end. So there was one pass that Castro made to Lamine. Lamine was running around his man, and Castro sent a ball in right to his feet. It didn't work out. Lamine fluffed it a little bit. It was a tough ball to collect, but Castro was brilliant. I'm going to give him an 8, even for only playing 30 minutes of football. Castro, I'm so surprised Xavi didn't use him. He was phenomenal today, and I'm so excited to use him. Pau Victor, I'm going to give him a 7 too. I think he ran well, and I think he pressed well on the left side. And I was worried that not bringing Balde onto that left side to help support Gerard Martin would hurt, but I think the pressure of Pau Victor on the left side, staying on the wing or pressing up that left wing, hurt their ability to create on that side, which is where they were the most threatening. And so, without him, the game could have gone a little bit differently. Great job for him. I'm going to give him, easily a 7. Fine. Hector Ford, again, fine. His link and play was solid. 6.5. Did his job. That's like the median. That's a good performance for a sub. And look, we won this game 5-1. It easily could have been 4-4, 5-4, 6-4, 7-3. They had 3 offsides goals. They had 13 shots. We had 17. They had 4 big chances and we had 8. Okay, that's a lot of big chances, but they had 2.11 XG and we had 4. There were a lot of chances for Villarreal, and that's not great. I think in the second half they only had 0.23 XG though, and we had nearly 2 XG. So we did a good job coming into this game and pressing well and holding them off in that second half, but they did create a lot of chances. And if they weren't offsides, it could have gone differently. Thankfully, we played a pretty decent high line. They held it pretty well, and the boys finished when they needed to. Incredibly clinical. Exactly what we needed to bounce back from that Monaco match and prove that these guys still got it. They can score just like Bayern can in their matches, and that's huge for me. That should be big for you guys, and we can all kind of calm a little bit. We can see that even with Eric Garcia in the middle, and a less than ideal team without Ferran Torres, without Daniel Araujo, Christensen, Bernal, Gavi, Fermin Lopez, and Frankie de Jong, they can still turn it up. So if you guys want to watch me, I'm going to be live again for the Champions League match this week. I don't know which day it's on. Alan, big up. Tifo now changed its name to Big Up. Link is in the description. You don't need a code to sign up anymore. Again, it's still free. It will always be free for you guys to join. Check me out. Follow or join my page there, and you can see me go live. I'll also post it on Twitter and Discord for all of those that don't go on from this video. But thank you guys for watching. Appreciate all of you. I appreciate these boys showing up and turning it on whenever we need it. Visca Barça, Visca Catalunya. Let's go, baby. Let's go.